Pet sitting seems like a dream job, right? You get paid to cuddle with cute animals, hang out in someone else's cool house, and basically just relax. But what happens when that dream job turns into a living nightmare? Today, we're diving into 3 true pet-sitting stories that went horribly, horribly wrong. These aren't just minor mishaps. These are the kinds of tales that will make you think twice before you answer that next ad for a dog walker. Jenna was a college student looking to make some extra cash over the summer. She found a gig on a popular pet-sitting app to watch 2 adorable golden retrievers, Max and Daisy, for a wealthy family in a huge, beautiful house. It seemed perfect. The owners left her a detailed list, a fully stocked fridge, and access to their pool. The first few days were pure bliss. Jenna played fetch with the dogs in the enormous backyard, binged her favorite shows on a massive TV, and felt like she'd hit the jackpot. But then, things started to get weird. On the 3rd night, Jenna was watching a movie when she heard a strange scratching sound coming from inside one of the bedroom walls. At first, she dismissed it. It's an old house. Probably just mice, she thought. But the scratching got louder, more frantic. Max and Daisy started barking at the wall, their hair standing on end. Jenna's heart began to pound. She messaged the owners, who replied, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's probably just the house settling." But this was not the sound of a house settling. This was something alive. The next night, the scratching was accompanied by a faint, high-pitched whimpering sound. Jenna was terrified. She couldn't sleep. She tried to pinpoint the exact location. The sound was coming from directly behind the headboard of the master bed. She was sleeping in a room with something trapped inside the walls. She spent the rest of the night on the living room couch with Max and Daisy pressed against her, all 3 of them trembling. When the owners finally returned, Jenna told them everything. The husband paled. He admitted that their previous dog, a small terrier, had gone missing in the house a year ago. They had searched everywhere and assumed he'd somehow gotten out. They never considered he could have gotten trapped inside the walls during a renovation. They had to call in a contractor to open up the wall. I don't have the details on what they found, but Jenna never pet sat in an old house again. Next up, we have a story from Mark, an experienced sitter who thought he'd seen it all. He was hired to look after a cat named Mittens. The owner described Mittens as a little shy, but it's very sweet once she knows you. Mark arrived at the small apartment and the owner showed him around. The place was cluttered. Stacks of newspapers, old magazines, and trinkets covered every surface. The owner pointed to a closed door and said, "Mittens spends most of her time in there. Just leave her food and water outside the door. She'll come out when she's ready." A little odd, Mark thought. But some cats are just timid. For the first 2 days, Mark did as he was told. He'd leave the food, and a few hours later, the bowl would be empty. He never saw the cat, only heard a faint meow from behind the door occasionally. On the 3rd day, his curiosity got the better of him. He felt bad for the cat being cooped up in one room. He decided to just peek inside, maybe offer her a treat and some gentle pets. He knocked softly, called out "Mittens," and slowly turned the handle. The smell hit him first. It was overpowering, an acrid stench of ammonia and decay. He flicked on the light switch, and his jaw dropped. The room wasn't just cluttered, it was a scene of chaos. And there wasn't one cat. There were at least 20. Cats of all shapes and sizes were perched on overflowing litter boxes, on top of furniture, and peeking out from under piles of junk. None of them looked particularly healthy. And there in the corner was the original Mittens, surrounded by a new litter of tiny mewling kittens. The owner wasn't just a cat lover, she was an animal hoarder. Mark backed out of the room, closed the door, and immediately called animal rescue. He had signed up to watch one shy cat, and instead he'd stumbled into a full-blown crisis. The rescue team managed to safely remove and treat all the animals, but Mark was shaken. It was a harsh reminder that you never truly know what's going on behind closed doors. Our final story is perhaps the most unsettling. It comes from a sitter named Chloe, who was watching a parrot named Captain for a week. The owner, an elderly man, was very attached to the bird. He told Chloe that Captain was a very special parrot, capable of mimicking not just words, but entire conversations with eerie accuracy. He said, "Just make sure you cover his cage at night, or he gets chatty." Chloe, a bird lover, was excited for the job. Captain would squawk, "Hello," and "Pretty bird," during the day, and Chloe would diligently cover his cage at 9 p.m. sharp. On the fifth night, however, Chloe got caught up in a movie and forgot. She was jolted awake around 2 a.m. by a voice from the living room. It was a man's voice, raspy and low, and it was saying, "Don't tell them. Don't you dare tell them what you saw." Chloe's blood ran cold. She grabbed the heaviest thing she could find, a floor lamp, and crept out of the bedroom. The living room was dark, except for the moonlight filtering through the window. The voice spoke again, from the direction of the cage. "I'll be back. I always come back." It was the parrot. Captain was mimicking a voice, but it wasn't the owner's. This voice was menacing, cold. Chloe stood frozen in fear, listening as the parrot repeated the phrases over and over. "Don't tell them. I'll be back." Who was he quoting? What had this bird witnessed? Chloe didn't sleep a wink. She stayed on the phone with a friend until the sun came up. When the owner returned, a shaken Chloe told him what had happened. The old man sighed, his face filled with sadness. He explained that his home had been broken into a few months prior. The intruder had threatened him. And Captain, hidden in his cage, had apparently recorded the entire chilling exchange. The police had never caught the guy. The owner apologized, admitting he should have warned her that the bird sometimes had nightmares. Chloe had spent the night listening to the recorded threats of a criminal who is still at large. She finished the job, but she now understands that sometimes our pets see and hear things we wish they couldn't. And there you have it, 3 pet-sitting jobs that were anything but a walk in the park. From haunted houses and secret hoarders to parrots who are witnesses to a crime, these stories show the dark side of what seems like an easy gig. So, what's the wildest thing you've ever experienced while pet sitting? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more strange and true tales. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.